Hello, everyone, and welcome to Horrornightoasis, a radio show where we discuss all the latest movies and news from the world of horror. Joining me tonight, as always, is my co-host Ian. Ian, are you there?
I am.
How have things been on your end, my friend?
Uh, a mix of everything.
Yep, I'm right there with you. But luckily, that sun's coming out, and some of the snow's finally getting evaporated, and so I'm looking forward to finally being able to do a little bit more going out because kind of been stuck a little bit, you know, not really, not really stuck per se, but it's good to finally. Now I had to deal with probably a lot of flooding because it's already a giant puddle down the road, but nonetheless, we are here to continue on our mainstream or bust roulette marathon. We kicked off last week and we spun the wheel and we got a new one this week. But before that, Ian, I know you wanted to bring this up, and it's not often that you get a chance to have your own segment now and then, but it's always good to let you have your moment to shine because I know you're the comic Magna guy. So go ahead and kick off what you want to talk about.
Well, in about technically a week from now, uh, plus some hours, um, Boom Studios is going live with a Kickstarter to bring back the out of print comic books in a big collection of Hellraiser, and they're doing this for the book's 40th anniversary. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm mostly getting into the comics, and it's good to see like one of my favorite movie series, like these comic books that are like near impossible to find without paying a hefty price, will be returning back into the shelves in a brand new hardback collection of all the comics into one big book. And I think it's going to be fun. And I hope the Kickstarter gets funded pretty fast. I don't think it would have an issue because of how beloved this series is. And it's just crazy. I'm seeing all kinds of like old movies and crossovers, like just within between last year and as of the 4th of February of this year, I've seen 2 crossovers of with Ash in them from the Evil Dead series. And one of them was Red Sonja. So I'm kind of like enjoying these little crossovers and series that they're bringing back of all of like these older movies. It's just fun to see. But that's all I really had to say about that. I just thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big comic book guy per se. I do have a few, but I got I found the Creep Show graphic novel at Ollie's for $4, and like I scooped that up because
Oh
that's of
yeah,
course
they're fun.
one, yeah, because of course it's George Romero. I love George Romero, and I like that film a lot, and it's just like just to see it all, and it's because it's I think it was like it's set like the Hellraiser set where it was like it came out and then it got reprinted again. So
Yeah.
it's always good to see him get back in circulation. For those that again weren't alive or were a baby or a child when the first run
Yeah.
hit. So it's always good to when budding horror fan or just a horror fan in general missed out on something that's relatively cheaper than to buy a new the original edition. But
Yeah.
hopefully this, I always like to look at the artwork too. Like again, I read that graphic novel, The Creepshow, and I know there's a lot of interesting horror comics and graphic novels, and I always like to look through the pictures and see what kind of blasphemous images are there and what kind of
Oh
gory
yeah.
details. It's always fun to watch. Not watch, but see.
Yeah. And
It's always
you
good,
know,
especially Hellraiser. I mean, I haven't seen that set ever, and I don't know exactly what the details involved, but I'm sure it's pretty graphic in nature, like a Hellraiser would be. So,
oh, I
and
hope
I'm interested in
so.
seeing what it would look like myself.
Yeah. And I mean, like Universal Studios, the Universal Studio monsters also had some fairly recent comics as well. I saw one for the creature from the Black Lagoon, and I was like, if I had the money, because the book was like $40, and I was
Mhm.
like, because it was hardback, and I was like, oh man, if I had the money, I'd scoop this thing up real quick because. But and going back to the Creep Show, they're still making it, and
Mhm.
I think that is fantastic. I just like they just came out with one for in December that was an entire superhero edition. So I thought that was fun. It's just I'm just enjoying to see where like horror movies are, like how they bleed into other forms of
And yeah,
nerdy media, and how like kids might, people who are getting into the horror scene are like, oh hey, I enjoyed this movie, now I can keep going into different, like seeing different stories told of this, and I'm like, that's so fun. But
yeah, that's one thing. It's like the horror medium's always there, no matter what age.
yeah,
And it's just
because
like you're as a
books,
young child, yeah, your books, like again, as a child, and Goosebumps and Chillers, and um, the, then you had, of course, TV with Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, and then you got into the edgier stuff with Tales from the Crypt, and it just kept going and going and growing and growing, and then like that's how I was starting starting out was like all these little tiny things, and then just like kept evolving until the person I am today with my appreciation of the genre, and just always wanting to find new stuff and learn about the genre
yeah,
and disseminate it out there for the all these lower budget films that no one else talks about. But yeah, I'm looking for hopefully you can keep posted if you even if you do maybe if you get it down the line, do a review of it. Who knows? Be interesting. But with that said, we will continue on our mainstream or bust roulette. And as it turns out last week, we're going to stay in the Pooniverse. And we had Peter Pan, and now we're going to the forest, and we're dealing with the disgruntled rabid deer with Bambi the Reckoning. So, this one, when the news came out that there's going to, Bambi hit the public domain, and then, like, of course, the consequential film came out, uh, I was kind of like, okay, where are we going to go with this? And I was just like, again, I'm intrigued. I'm always intrigued, just to see what they would do with it. Um, and so let's get into this one. Because I know you were interested in this one too, and when it first came out, like, oh my God, they're doing Bambi.
well, after that one deer special that we saw, uh I've been like, I kind of want more like this.
Hmm.
So
But Bambi, the Reckoning revolves around Anna and her son Benji. But I'm getting ahead of myself. As always, per these Jagged Edge Productions Pooniverse, we have a storybook beginning where we learn that we have, again, a family of deer. Something happens to the family, and the baby is left. There's like uh, a radioactive waste that's being poured out in this area of the forest for some kind of, again, waste disposal. And the baby deer drinks it and then turns into a mutated radioactive. I mean, I wouldn't say it's radioactive, but it did drink waste, but just like a mutated rabid deer. And then we're introduced to Anna and Benji, and they're supposed to go off to his grandmother's house for this party, and Anna's brother's gonna be there, Andrew. I think his girlfriend, a cousin, Harrison, which is 15 years old, even though again, it is what it is. He doesn't look 15, but they tried at least. And then Mary, which is the grandma, and she's sort of a dementia-esque type character. We'll get it more into her a little bit later. And so Anna's on the phone with Benji's father, and we don't know his name until later, but it's Simon. And like, hey, you're supposed to pick up Benji, take him to the grandmother's house for this party. Why aren't you there? It's business related. And so she gets in the cab, and they just start driving to grandmother's house. And while there, the cab driver, he's sort of disoccupied. He's not paying attention to the road, and he's like swerving in and out of traffic. And then eventually, out of nowhere, here comes this giant deer, and it basically scoops them up with its horns and tosses them off the side of the road. And Anna and Benji are in the back seat, and they're trying to like get their bearings straight. The cab driver's still in the seatbelt upside down, and the deer comes and starts hooving the top of the car, crushing it. And that is starting to crush the cab driver as well, and his arm starts to break and his bones sticking out. And so Anna and Benji finally get out. The cab driver dies, and they're running from the deer through the woods, and they get to grandma's house, and everyone's like, hey, you finally made it, about time. And so they start again sort of having a party and just talking about this crazy deer that they encountered, and everything's okay. And then out of nowhere, here comes the deer again, and it starts rampaging through the house and chasing them. And so they're trying to get away from it. They get into the RV camper, drive off, and it just escalates from there. And then, of course, more things get revealed as the story progresses, per usual. We'll get into more spoilers here in a second. Overall, honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of this one compared to the other films in the series of, Blood and Honey and Peter Pan. This one, I just felt it was rather mediocre, even for what it was trying to accomplish. It just felt like your basic, Saturday, Sci-Fi Channel Saturday movie premiere that would have been like part of the Maneater series during that time. Like you had what were they like? Of course, Maneater, Croc, just some of the other ones. They're just like killer animals in general is just part of that series. Black Swarm, the spider, blood monkey, stuff like that, where it's just like an animal specific horror movie, and it just like felt like that. Whereas like it didn't really do much, in my opinion, to really like make me interested and to keep this one like afloat. The look of the deer was fine. It kind of reminded me of Rippy, the Killer Kangaroo movie that was also rabid, and it was just like in the same sentiment where it was kind of dull for a lot of it, and I was kind of like disinterested. Um, for a majority, it's just like, come on, get to the point. Like it's okay, but it's just like completely average in my opinion. Where it's like I've seen this done numerous times. You know, creature run amok, animal run amok. You know, boar was another one. Um, just that typical creature feature animal movie, but it's a mutated deer. Um, Again, I didn't hate it. I just didn't really wow me as I kind of was like hoping for a killer deer movie. Some of the gore was okay. Um, the one with I don't want to get into the specific spoilers yet, but there was like some okay moments, but I like that's been done before, like a lot of the other movies I mentioned. The CGI for the deer wasn't too awful. There was a few parts where it looked like it could have been an asylum film, like Battle Dogs or something, or Not of the Wild about the killer dogs. So it's sort of like a step up from like the asylum at least. The look of everything's fine. It's just a lot of forest wood areas. It's dark, so there's not a lot of light. So they kind of hide everything as best as they can for the effect. Um, the I mean, it is pretty straightforward and fairly. It doesn't delve off any like cheesy or jokey. It's fairly straightforward. It gets kind of dark, not in the tone of Bambi. It's just like it has that dark, at the end of it. Um, but yeah, it's just like it didn't really like the characters all kind of I didn't care about. There wasn't really enough time to really care about any of them, honestly. Um, and then of course the cousin Harrison, he was a total douchebag, and like yeah, he kind of got what needed to come to him. um, they do
Yeah.
introduce rabbits as well, so I guess that's the Thumper character. I don't know, but those are mutated rabbits, so there's like another instance of more killer animals. Uh, but yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. It was fine. It was just one of those null watches where I was just like, yeah, it's okay, yeah, whatever it is, what it is. But it just didn't wow me, and it just didn't really like, just like not exactly what I expected it to be. I kind of like from the synopsis, it kind of reminded me of like the mother and well, because it's mother and son in this one, but in the monster where it's the mother and daughter, and like they're facing off against the deer, and the creature in the woods, and their car tips over, and they crashed, and they have to face off against the monster, and they're in the ambulance and everything. Like I kind of expected it to go that way, where this one's just crazy, rabid deer, mutated deer, uh, impaling people, cutting people in half, decapitations, stuff like that. And again, I didn't mind it. It's just like the story didn't really pull me in that much. But Ian, I'll let you give your thoughts, and then we'll go back and forth.
I wanted more. I wanted so much more because there was so much more potential for more. There was too many dead spots in this movie. Like with just nothing happening. And like everyone was shitty except for like the people we were meant to care about, obviously.
I don't know, man. The son was shitty. Like he didn't even listen half the time.
I mean, I kind of don't blame him. His dad was a
Yeah.
piece of shit. um, like everybody was kind of shitty to the kid,
Yeah.
and I was like, I kind of gave him a pass because he was, acting out because of his dad. And his dad was the reason all of this was fucking happening. So,
Mhm.
but Man, it's just the deer look ridiculous. I mean, I got kind of what I wanted from this movie. Like, I was expecting this to be terrible. It wasn't that bad. Um, like, I wanted more woodland creatures, especially like flower. Like, I saw the picture of flower, so I'm guessing there's going to be a sequel because
Well,
of
obviously.
because of the what we saw.
I mean, there's a
But
stinger. There's a Marvel-like stinger at the end of the credits. Bambi will return in Avengers Doomsday.
oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
I wonder. I mean, Bambi is in the woods, so it wouldn't be too far off to say that like Bambi comes back and meets with
Well, we got to remember. I mean, I didn't want to get into spoilers just yet, but like, there's a reason I'm not calling the deer the main, Bambi, because it's technically not in a way. I mean, it kind of is, but it's like because like the whole point is the deer going after its fawn, and there's these hunters that are using that are basically hunting or tracking down all these mutated animals, and they're eliminating them. And the deer is one that they're trying to eliminate, so they have its fawn in a cage, and they're trying to set a trap to kill it, and it doesn't go as well, basically. And so, like at the end of it, again, it's like we have a new Bambi, whereas like this one, I guess, is like the original. I don't know,
yeah.
but we're gonna have to. I don't know. We'll see. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Ian.
Oh, you're fine. But yeah, no, it's just that was like, yeah, we got killer rabbits, which the killers. So there's an anime that's called ReZero where they had rabbits like that, and they tore into a guy, and it wasn't honestly. I mean, it was almost scene for scene. So I was like, I saw that and I was like, I mean, there's no way that they didn't pull the inspiration from that.
Well, either
It's not
that or they
bad.
ripped it off from cute little buggers about the killer
Yeah.
rabbits that are taken over by aliens, like little aliens.
Oh
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
whenever
yeah.
they attack
Forgot
people,
about
like they
that
have like the
movie.
little tentacles coming out of them, and they attack like naked breasted women and stuff like that. And it's a British
Yeah.
movie, but it's
I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's everything's been done. I'm just saying. Like,
yeah. Well, I was just saying, like, that was my first thought I was like, oh, I've seen this before.
yeah.
But it's just like I wanted more from it. Like we got hints of everything.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's what I loved about Blood and Honey was that it was violent when it needed to be. It was eerie when it needed to be. And yeah, there was some pointless scenes just to but other than that, it was pretty fun. Um Peter Pan movie we just watched. That wasn't that bad. I was actually quite surprised because I went into it thinking it was going to be terrible. And I mean, not all of these movies are going to be good. Not all of them are going
No,
to be
like
bad.
I think it needed to have a little bit of a more cheekier tone, like an Evil Dead 2, where it could have. I mean, because I know they're wanting to do this super serious franchise. I mean, I get that. Like everything
Yeah,
has to be super dark and serious, but like you have a killer deer. I mean, you have to like make it just a little bit, you know,
yeah,
cheeky, a little tongue in cheek in there, and just make it kind of stupid, just like having a, like sort of like how they did with again, all these films are just coming out of my head. Rise of the Animals. It's like the exact same thing. It's all these animals, and all of a sudden they just start attacking people, and it's like in the vein of Evil Dead 2, where just like it's like puppets and like beavers and like all the squirrels and
Yeah,
trouts.
that's
And,
what.
like all these things are coming out, and they're just killing people, and it's like bloody and gory, and it's like stupid and it's dumb, but like it works for the like for what they're going for, and it's just like you have to have you know a non-serious tone for a lot of this. Where this one's like super serious and dark and brooding for some reason, and just like because they want to make a point, like, oh, look at how sad it is, like everything it
Yeah,
is, because they're trying to make this, because the Bambi's this sad film, but like this one, just like the tone was just like it didn't work for me, and just like as you said, like there's not a lot to really hone it in and bring it home. Where it's just like I don't care about the characters, I don't really care about the hunters and what their job is. I really don't care about the deer. And
yeah,
like when you don't care about your main character of the franchise, there's something not right there in the script, and it just felt kind of shoehorned. Like, hey, we got this, we can do this now, and just it's not as bad as say like Mousetrap, where it's just like shoehorned in there. Like they at least tried a little bit, but it just like it just didn't. It's just one of those where I'm not gonna really think too much of it. Like, oh yeah, that one. Like it's just like I'll watch the next one. We'll probably cover it whenever it happens, possibly. Who knows? But it's just like this one just didn't pull me in like the other ones did. So it just kind of lost its footing for just like not being as enjoyable as the other ones. Yeah, it has some okay moments with the deer attacking people, but again, I've seen that done in all kinds of asylum animal movies. I've seen that done in Zombies. I've seen it in all the other films that I've discussed. I've seen all these deer attacks, and like hell, even I mean, I guess it's a step up in the deer scene in deer sequence in The Ring 2, the American remake version of that, where like they
yeah,
attack the car. Like it's better than that at least, but um, yeah, it's just like at least there's some gore, some blood, some decapitations, and some killer bunnies. But like overall, it's just like the story for what they wanted to tell was not all that intriguing to me.
yeah. And see, like that's what I wanted from this film was more animals, or at least the animals we saw in Bambi, like Flower and um, like just in general, just like all of them, more deer or something. Like, but the serious tone and everything, I honestly, I didn't even feel that sad.
No,
Like, I was just like, I mean, we, they set it up uh, pretty standard to what these kind of movies are.
yeah, like this is just again, it's just basic, man. Like if you like all the films that I mentioned, or even like again, Rippy, the Killer Kangaroo, or just like all these just animal attack movies, it's very just blasé
Yeah.
in comparison. It's just like it's prototypical killer animal run amok. I mean, if you've seen any of those that I mentioned, you've seen this one. There's nothing different. I mean, it's I even think like there's that one scene where like the grandma's on the couch in the hunter's office, and like Bambi comes in and like its mouth opens. That kind of reminded me of the bear scene in Annihilation, where like they're in the chairs and they're trying to be still, and like the how it is the bear mouth skeleton thing creature in that film is just like I wonder if they just copied that. It's just
Yeah.
like it just again brought all these things out of my mind. But yeah, it's just like it's been there, done that, and I just like if you're gonna do something that you've seen before, at least try to switch up the story and try to make it interesting instead of something that's been done previously. Just because we got the name, let's just make a plain Jane animal attack movie that's just a mutated deer. Like, there's really no point. It's like, again, what can you do with a killer deer movie? Yeah, I understand that, but again, we've seen so many. We've seen a lot of recent like reindeer movies and all kinds of stuff like that in like our holiday themed movies, and like Moose. There's that one with the Moose movie. Where just like at least he tried, like do something a little different. I think we mentioned, me and you were talking. We were talking like the segment and all the creatures were stirring in that one segment with the reindeer going after the people. Like that was a great segment. It's probably the best segment in there. Like at least he did something different. Like this one is just like it's just an angry animal. It's like Chaws and all those other like giant killer boar movies. It's like you've seen it before. It's just a deer. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it's this movie, there's not like a lot to it. It was actually probably one of the easiest movies I've watched in a
Yeah.
bit. Because it was just like deer, one family, toward the middle, a couple more people get introduced, and back to 2 or 3 more people.
I mean, making the deer do the Jurassic Park sequence with the RV. I mean, yeah, it's that was something.
Yeah. It's just, I wish there was more, like, more deer shenanigans than what we got. Because I felt like it was just too and far in between. And then the bunnies popped in. And I mean, it was, and going back to Jurassic Park, that ending was literally from Jurassic Park,
Mm-hmm.
except for without Newman getting sprayed with black oil before he was attacked. Because that's what I thought of too, was when the dad was trying to get out of the car and the bunny was just staring at him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's what that scene was from.
Yeah. There's a lot of just like scenes pulled from other films. I mean, like again, like those two scenes from Jurassic Park. Again,
Yeah.
Annihilation with the bear, and just like there's just so many things you've seen before. I mean, it's just like again, rinse and repeat, whatever. But as a whole, again, it didn't, like I said before, it didn't wow me. It's just mediocre and just like blasé, and I didn't really find it all that interesting.
Yeah.
But it's not, again, it's nothing terrible, but it's nothing really. I mean, you can skip this one honestly, unless you just want to see something that's been done before. I mean, I honestly, I would have watched it anyway, but again, now having it for the wheel and doing this, I'm like, yeah, I probably would have just held off a little bit longer if it wasn't for the wheel.
Probably would have
It's one of
watched
those.
it when all of them come together in one movie.
Yeah, it's just like again, there's like nothing here. It's just a placeholder until like whatever happens next, because again, they're setting up this universe, so we still got to get again at the end of this one where the fawn is the new Bambi. So I guess we got to wait until that's grown up, and I guess that deer gets mutated or just seeks revenge or something. I don't know. I don't know what it does. But eventually we'll find out, like how they're gonna involve Bambi into the whole thing. When they all come together and fight, I guess I have no idea. Or what greater threat They're going to do probably the Wizard of Oz. Some kind of major threat. Because I think Mad Hatter is Mad Hatter one they're supposed to do as well? I don't know.
I saw one called, I thought it was called like the Maddest Hatter.
Mm-hmm.
I might be thinking of something else.
I don't know. They just got so many coming out. It's hard to figure out who the big bad villain's going to be in all of them, where they all have to come together and overtake him.
Probably the government.
Yeah. I mean, they set it up with this one. And then, again, and plus with Blood and Honey 2, they did introduce the experiments in the facilities, those secret experiments that turned them into Pooh and Tigger and Piglet. Well, they didn't, yeah. And so probably like some kind of secret facility doing experiments. And, yeah. And so this one's going after, so possibly, I mean, that's about the best one you can come up with. But yeah, Ian, any final thoughts on Bambi the Reckoning?
Well, I feel like we've pretty much touched on everything. There's really not much.
Yeah. Well, that is going to do it for our mainstream or bust roulette choice this week. But before we end the show, as always, Ian, we got to pull up that wheel. We have got one off and another one put on there, and it is time to see what our choice will be to review next week. So, Ian, whenever you're ready, spin the wheel. All right. We have Primitive War. So apparently we're going to be, instead of fighting deer, we're going to be going back and fighting dinosaurs, Ian. So from deers to dinosaurs.
Woo!
That's good. Hopefully that's fun. I heard decent things on that one. So with that being said, Ian, as always, it's great talking with you, my friend. And I hope everything goes well.
Back at ya.
And I appreciate everyone for listening as we continue on this wild journey of our mainstream or bust roulette marathon. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time here on Horror Night Oasis.
Good night.